Hello, I'm Steve Evans and welcome to my Right Away. By the end of this video, you'll be able to provide rich description of a location and link it to rich character description. You'll also be able to intrigue your readers enough for them to keep reading on. Not only is this writing technique fun and relatively easy to do, it's going to turbocharge your writing 100%. And all in 10 minutes, which is a decent investment of your time. Sound good? Let's start. Okay, so this is a classic show, don't tell. I don't want you to describe your character to me, not directly. Instead, I want you to reveal what kind of person they are by describing a room in their home and providing me with clues about what they are like. Think of it as a game where you provide clues and the reader has to figure it out. So every clue counts. Imagine a room in someone's home. If you haven't yet watched my video on how to describe a room or a location using strong images, don't forget to check that out. Show me, but don't tell me about this person. Stick only to details that paint a picture of your character in your reader's mind. If it helps, you can model your description on the room of somebody you know well. And the items you describe, ask yourself, do they reflect that person's personality? If it helps, think of a film set and a director who begins by showing you a room before you meet the character. The camera moves slowly around the room. What has the director placed in the frame to give you clues about the character? Now you're going to do the same. Here's an example I've been working on and it's still work in progress. The kitchen contains a cast iron range, a vintage blender, iron weighing scales, a washing tub and mangle. All the appliances and objects are so well maintained they appear pristine. Large storage jars of homemade jam and pickled peaches adorn wooden shelves beside a larder. The wooden floor smells of wax and vinegar. Throughout the room you can smell starch, bleach, polish, cookie mix, ground coffee and fresh bread. A rocking chair rests by the range. A white apron is neatly folded over its back, and on the seat a half-finished embroidery that reads, "Cleanliness is next to." Beside the chair is a basket with crochet needles sticking out like porcupine spines. The kitchen table is laid for two. In one of the places rests a photograph of an elderly man. His sepia image faces the other dinner plate. So what kind of clues did I provide in that example? Would they be enough for you to start formulating a picture of that character? In the same way, what clues can you provide in your description for the reader. For example, what would a faded and vain Hollywood actor or actress keep in a room of their home? Or a health and fitness freak keep in their home? An academic? A YouTuber? See this as a game. What would objects or items like a copy of the Wall Street Journal beside a half-finished mug of coffee suggest about your character? Or an ashtray brimming over with cigarette ends beside a copy of a health and fitness magazine tell you about them? Okay, start writing and spend 10 minutes writing and do not stop. When you have finished, I want you to read it out to a trusted friend or family member and see if they can guess what kind of person lives in that home. If they can, well done. If they were a little off the mark, reflect on how you would support your description further. If there's nobody to read your work to, don't store it away. We're going to move on and we're now going to turbocharge your description. From your rich description, choose 4 of your clues. The 4 that you're really pleased with and think that they're the best clues. And prune or discard the rest, because we're going to then concentrate on those 4. Now add to your clues something that makes the description more concrete. So in the example I provided, I might write a sunbeam blender rather than just blender, or a Glenwood range or Arga range. Or I might include brand names like Dettol or Clorox to anchor the objects, the nouns, further. Okay, with what you've written now and been working on, we're going to take your description to a further level of detail and richness. We're going to hurl a curveball at your reader that's going to surprise them, shock them, make them sit up, be really intrigued at the story, at this character, and your work then and this description is going to make them want to read on. We're going to add this as the very last sentence or sentences to the description that you've been working on. Placing it at the end, of course, is a great place for maximum impact and to make your reader want to read on. So in my example, I might write on the work surface a heavy tome titled "The Home Medic's Guide" lies open. The open page reads, "How to amputate a leg." The page is spattered with drying blood. A sweet, sickly smell suddenly cloys the air. And of course, this is just a rough draft, and I would be working on it. I'd be changing this around. I'd be deleting some of the words, some of the phrases, make it work more fluently and smoothly so it writes and reads much, much better. But then I've got this draft now. I've got something, a foundation that I can start working on. And I hope that I've sufficiently dealt my reader a curveball in the nicest possible sense that will intrigue them, excite them, and be really interested enough to invest further in reading my story. I'd be really interested to hear the curveball line you've come up with. So please leave me a comment and share it with me. So experiment and play with this neat writing technique and look out for it in other people's writing. Don't forget to subscribe and check out our video on how to describe using strong images. Until next time, write well.